Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use. Tips a balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is the Zalkin Law Firm. Phone number 800-477-2989. Helping people with clergy abuse. For decades, our team has handled some of the most complex sexual abuse and personal injury claims across the nation. For more information, please contact our office to set up a free consultation. 800-477-2989. Request a confidential consultation. And vet it out, please. Clergy sexual abuse lawyers representing survivors nationwide. Millions recovered for survivors of clergy abuse. As religious leaders, clergy are trusted to provide spiritual and moral guidance. By using their positions of authority and their religion to commit sexual abuse and keep that abuse a secret, there's that secret stuff, members of the clergy or priesthood commit the ultimate betrayal. Many churches and religious institutions have come under scrutiny by widespread sexual abuse within their ranks. Kind of like cops too, huh? And those same institutions have faced criticism for their failure to adequately investigate allegations, report abuse, and keep vulnerable children, and members safe. Today, clergy from many religious institutions have been implicated in widespread child sexual abuse scandals. The Catholic Church, evangelical Christians, Jehovah's Witnesses, Orthodox Judaism, Yeshivas, the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormons, the Church of Scientology, troll. The time has come for these organizations to be held accountable. To learn more about how our clergy sexual abuse lawyers can help you, call 800-477-2989 or contact us online today. What is clergy sexual abuse? Clergy sexual abuse refers to instances where members of the clergy, such as priests, ministers, rabbis, or other religious leaders, engage in sexual misconduct or abuse of a sexual nature with individuals under their spiritual care or authority. This form of abuse is a betrayal of trust, just like a cop, and a violation of the sacred relationship between religious leaders and their congregants. Common forms or examples of clergy sexual abuse include non-consensual sexual contact. No child can consent, by the way. Any unwanted and non-consensual sexual touching, fondling, or physical contact initiated by a clergy member. Sexual assault involves more severe forms of sexual misconduct, such as rape or coerced sexual acts, where the survivor is subjected to sexual penetration without their consent. Sexual exploitation, using one's position of authority, like a cop, to exploit individuals for sexual gratification or gain. This may involve manipulation, coercion, or emotional abuse. Grooming. Clergy members may engage in a process known as grooming, where they build trust and emotional connection with individuals, often with the intention of later engaging in sexual abuse. Child sexual abuse. In cases involving minors, clergy's sexual abuse may include any form of sexual exploitation or violation against children, ranging from molestation to more serious offenses. See, there's a difference. Sexual harassment. Unwanted sexual advances, comments, or behavior that creates a hostile or intimidating environment for the survivor. This can occur within the context of a religious institution. Violation of pastoral relationship. Breach of the sacred pastoral relationship where clergy members exploit the trust and authority, like a cop, bestowed upon them for their personal sexual desires. Abuse of spiritual authority. Clergy members may use their spiritual authority to manipulate individuals into engaging in sexual acts, claiming that such acts are part of a religious or spiritual practice. Psychological and emotional abuse. Clergy's sexual abuse is not solely physical. It may also involve psychological and emotional abuse, including manipulation, intimidation, and coercion. Like, for example, when they threaten your family, because they all do that. Or they threaten your dog to kill them. Clergy sexual abuse can be profound and long-lasting effects on the survivors, causing emotional, psychological, and spiritual harm. Many cases involve not only the abuse itself, but also the subsequent cover-up or failure of religious institutions to address the misconduct appropriately. Legal actions and accountability measures are often pursued to seek justice for survivors and prevent further abuse within religious organizations. Scientology parents, you should probably listen to this. And children, if you happen to be in the room. Common signs a child is a survivor of clergy sexual abuse. Identifying signs that a child may be a survivor of clergy sexual abuse requires careful observation and attention to behavioral, emotional, and physical changes. Keep in mind that these signs may not definitively indicate abuse, but they could be potential indicators. If you suspect a child may be a survivor of clergy sexual abuse, it is crucial to report your concerns to the appropriate authorities. Yeah, don't be an aider and abetter. Don't be an aider and abetter and tell the 5-year-old that he is out 2D because a grown man sexually assaulted him. Don't do that. Common signs include withdrawal, sudden social withdrawal, isolation, or reluctance to participate in activities they previously enjoyed. Regression, reverting to earlier behaviors such as bedwetting or thumb-sucking that were previously outgrown. Depression, persistent sadness, changes in mood, or expressions of hopelessness. Anxiety, unexplained fears, nightmares, or anxiety related to specific places or individuals. Nightmares, recurrent nightmare or night terrors that may be indicative of distress. Insomnia or changes in sleep habits, difficulty falling asleep or changes in sleep patterns. Speech issues, regressions in speech development, sudden reluctance to speak or difficulty expressing oneself, loss of milestones, reversal of developmental milestones, such as loss of toilet training skills. Physical pain, complaints of unexplained physical pain or discomfort. Sexually transmitted infections. In cases of sexual abuse, the child may contract STIs. Avoidance of specific individuals. Fear or avoidance of specific individuals, including clergy members or other religious figures. Distrust. General distrust of adults or authority figures. Decline in school performance. A sudden decline in academic performance, attention problems, or difficulty concentrating. Knowledge beyond age level. Displaying knowledge of sexual acts or language beyond their developmental stage. Inappropriate sexual behavior. Engaging in age-inappropriate sexual behavior, kind of like what's going on throughout the world right now. Grooming anyone. Or expressing sexualized language. Reluctance to attend religious activities. Expressing fear or anxiety about attending religious service or events. It just reminds me, children in Scientology don't get to say no to auditing, do they? Or the KRs, or going on the e-meter, or ethics handlings. They're not allowed to say no. Changes in personality. Rapid and unexplained changes in personality, mood swings, or irritability. Understanding the impact of clergy sexual abuse on mental health. Clergy sexual abuse can have profound and enduring effects on a survivor's mental health. The betrayal of trust and the trauma associated with such abuse often leads to a range of psychological issues that require careful and ongoing treatment. Survivors may experience post-traumatic stress disorder. Survivors may suffer from PTSD, characterized by flashbacks, severe anxiety, and uncontrollable thoughts about the traumatic event. Depression, persistent feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and a loss of interest in activities previously enjoyed can be expected. Depression can affect a survivor's ability to function in daily life and maintain relationships. Anxiety disorders, generalized anxiety, panic attacks, and social anxiety are frequent issues that impact the survivor's ability to feel secure and manage everyday stressors. Difficulty with trust. The abuse can result in significant challenges with trusting others, which can affect personal and professional relationships. Self-esteem issues. Survivors may struggle with feelings of worthlessness or self-blame, which can impact their self-esteem and overall sense of identity. Understanding these potential impacts is crucial for providing practical support and ensuring survivors receive the appropriate mental health care. Therapeutic interventions, such as counseling and support groups, are essential to healing. The role of religious institutions in addressing clergy abuse goes for you, Scientology. Religious institutions have a critical role in addressing and preventing clergy sexual abuse. They're never going to take responsibility, never. Never. This responsibility includes Implementing robust safeguarding policies. Institutions should establish and enforce comprehensive policies designed to protect individuals from abuse. This includes background checks for clergy. They should do this for cops too. But I don't know. You're not going to find anything on someone who's been under the radar. Clear reporting procedures and regular training or recognizing and preventing abuse. Transparency and accountability. Religious organizations must be transparent about allegations of abuse and hold individuals accountable for any misconduct. This involves cooperating with investigations and openly communicating with congregants about the measures taken to prevent abuse. Providing support for survivors. Institutions should offer support services for survivors. You're never going to get this. It sounds good. Including counseling and compensation programs. This helps the recovery process and demonstrates a commitment to addressing the harm caused. It just makes me think about what happened with the Boy Scouts. You guys go look and see. It's not good. Creating safe reporting channels. Ensuring that survivors have access to safe, confidential channels to report abuse is essential. Not when it's full of pedophiles. It's not going to work. This includes creating independent bodies to handle complaints, people that are not pedophiles, and ensuring protections against retaliation for those who come forward. That'll never happen in Scientology. Never, never. By taking these steps, religious institutions can contribute to preventing abuse and supporting survivors in their journey toward justice and healing. Well, how about get rid of all the pedophiles in there? How about that? That'd be step number 1. Can I file a civil sexual abuse claim? Determining whether we have the right to take legal action over childhood sexual abuse will depend on the unique facts of your case. At the Zalkin Law Firm PC, our lawyers offer free and confidential case evaluations to help survivors evaluate their options. We serve all survivors of sexual abuse and sexual assault, including child survivors and their parents, adult survivors of abuse or assault, and adult survivors who were sexually abused as minors. With new legislation in many states, such as California, Alpha Bravo 218, and the New York Child Victims Act, adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse are often given the opportunity to bring civil claims against at-fault parties years or decades after abuse occurred. This includes adult survivors whose claims were previously barred by statutes of limitations. The LAPD loves to scream that, right? Our attorney can help you better understand how eligibility and the statute of limitations works in these cases. Your right to compensation. As a clergy abuse survivor, you have the right to hold wrongdoers and responsible church leaders accountable for their misconduct. Well, Rinder never got his, did he? Failures and willful conceit. Everything in Scientology is willful conceit. Stepping forward with a claim not only exposes unforgivable practices, but also fosters needed change to prevent others from being victimized. As a civil lawsuit or tort, sexual abuse claims also provide survivors with the opportunity to recover financial compensation for the damages they incurred as a result of their abuse. This may include pain and suffering, medical and mental health treatment, future medical and mental health expenses, emotional and psychological anguish, other economic and non-economic damages. When should you contact a clergy sexual abuse lawyer? The statute of limitations for filing a civil legal claim in clergy sexual abuse cases varies from state to state. In some states, survivors may have decades from the time of their abuse to come forward and file a lawsuit. In other states, survivors may have just a few years or even months to take action. It is therefore essential for survivors of clergy sexual abuse to act quickly and contact an attorney as soon as possible after the abuse comes to light in order to ensure that their rights are protected and that they can pursue the justice they deserve. An experienced lawyer who specializes in clergy sexual abuse cases can provide invaluable guidances about filing deadlines, potential defendants, negotiation strategies, and more, allowing survivors to focus on healing and recovery. Survivors should also keep in mind that there may be exceptions to statute of limitations in certain jurisdictions or specific circumstances. So it is best to consult with an experienced attorney right away if you believe you may have a case. How can an abuse lawyer help the survivors of clergy sexual abuse? An experienced clergy sexual abuse lawyer can provide survivors with powerful legal representation while they seek justice for the abuse they've suffered. These attorneys are knowledgeable of the laws and regulations that surround these cases, as well as the long-term effects of childhood sexual abuse. They understand the importance of protecting their clients' rights and obtaining the best possible outcome. One of our abuse lawyers near you can help with investigating the facts of your case and identifying potential defendants who may be liable for sexual abuse. Evaluating legal statutes to understand how state laws and court rulings could affect your claim. Negotiating with insurance companies, religious organizations, and other entities on your behalf. Representing you in civil litigation if needed. Reviewing settlements offered by churches before an agreement is made. Helping secure financial compensation for medical bills, therapy costs, lost wages or income due to abuse-related trauma, pain and suffering, or other damages caused by clergy sex abuse. Providing resources to help survivors cope through support groups, counseling services, and other forms of assistance. Assisting in filing criminal charges against perpetrators when appropriate. Imagine all those perpetrators that Scientology is hiding right now. Imagine. Accused Priest Directory. The Zalkin law firm, PC, maintains a directory of priests who have been credibly accused of child sexual abuse within the Catholic Church, particularly in California diocese. What's going on in Cali, you guys? What's going on in Cali? You guys know. Our directory curates public information about accused priests and claims brought by survivors in one place, and can help survivors who are considering stepping forward understand what has happened to others, and why making their voice heard is important in putting an end to abuse. Visit our Accused Priest Directory to learn more about accused priests, trusted advocates, proven results. The Zalkin law firm PC has cultivated a record of success fighting for survivors abused by priests, pastors, and others within religious organizations across the country, like security guards. Who was the other ones? Recruiters. Apparently the recruiters really like to go after. I don't know if they're into the children, but our childhood sexual abuse lawyers have spearheaded high-stakes and high-profile clergy abuse cases. and have successfully taken on some of the most powerful religious institutes of in the world. This includes major litigation and multi-million global settlements against the Catholic Church. Do you guys know, like, how huge that is? And you got to watch the numbers. 660 million settlement. Interesting numbers. Erwin Zalkin was one of the lead trial lawyers prepared to litigate a 14-victim trial against the Catholic Archbishop of Los Angeles. There we go with LA again. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Before a global settlement was reached. 198.5 million settlement. Erwin Zalkin was appointed mediation liaison counsel and lead negotiator for over 144 victims, imagine that, you guys, of child sex abuse against the Roman Catholic Bishop of San Diego. The negotiations resulted in a nearly 200 million settlement. 100 million settlement. Erwin Zalkin was part of the legal team representing sex abuse survivors in the Diocese of Orange, California, and helped negotiate the first 100 million global settlement in the nation over Catholic sex abuse. 4.2 million settlement for 3 adult survivors abused as minors by priests associated with a Northern California diocese. There's Cali again. 2.75 million settlement for 2 survivors of clergy sexual abuse by a Roman Catholic priest in 1975. Look, you guys, that was a long time ago and they still got a settlement. In addition to complex and multi-victim claims, our clergy sexual abuse attorneys have also recovered millions in compensation for survivors in single victim claims. How about that, Scientology? Examples of our results include 1.75 million settlement, Montana clergy abuse case, which occurred over 40 years ago. Bam. 1.25 million settlement, 27-year-old abused as a minor by a youth pastor associated with an evangelical church in Northern California. 1 million settlement, California clergy abuse case against a religious school, like Clearwater Academy, Delphi Academy, for sexual abuse that occurred over 20 years ago. $937,500 settlement for a 27-year-old male survivor abused as a minor by a Catholic priest in Southern California. Why is it these priests don't wind up in prison? Inquiring MF minds want to know. $750,000 settlement, California clergy abuse that occurred in the early 1990s. $675,000 settlement, California clergy abuse case against a religious order for abuse that occurred 30 years ago. There's that word order again. $600,000 settlement, 45-year-old male survivor abused as a minor by a Catholic priest. Call our nationwide clergy sexual abuse lawyers for a free consultation. The Zalkin Law Firm PC is nationally recognized for fighting on behalf of survivors who were sexually abused by priests, pastors, and other religious leaders. Our clergy sexual abuse attorneys have recovered hundreds of millions in compensation for our clients in single victim and multi-victim cases. You guys know there's going to be multi-victim cases with Scientology, right? It's right around the corner. And have the insight and resources to take on powerful adversaries. That's the important part. They have the resources, you see? to take on powerful adversaries that failed to protect children and survivors. Because pedophiles won't protect them, you guys see? We serve survivors across the U.S. and can help explore your options for pursuing the justice and compensation you deserve. Contact us online or call 800-477-2989, free and confidential case evaluation. That's what a real man looks like, you guys. And that's something else? It's a real man. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.